On Bucks Falcons tonight.
Kyle Pitts tonight for the Atlanta Falcons will come off the milk carton. Tonight's tonight, like Betty Wright, like the song. He's going to have, I think, 6 receptions for about 90-something yards, and he's going to be able to get off. We know Todd Bowles likes the blitz. Kyle Pitts is going to have that one-on-one coverage. Let's go, Kyle Pitts! Tonight is the night, man. I'm just excited.
If they blitz, you got to go to Pitts. All right, Kmart. How about the Jets and Vikings in London? Give me an opening statement.
Greeny, Sam Darnold has the opportunity to do the funniest thing possible. A week after Zach Wilson came to MetLife and his current team beat his old team, Sam Darnold could go to London, beat the Jets and their new Hall of Fame quarterback. If the Vikings win, this will be chaos here.
Tough flight home.
It's true. This is like the Sam Darnold Super Bowl. I can't disagree with that. J-Mac, a really good game this week in the AFC. Bills, Texans. Give me an opening statement.
Stephon Diggs going against his old team. It is that you're going to miss me when I'm gone feeling when you go to see your ex and the family. Stephon Diggs, I want to see everything that goes on. Before the play starts, after the play, we want to see trash talk and a ton of emotion in this game.
Yeah.
Who sang that song?
Will they hang out? Will he and Josh Allen like hug on the field and all that stuff before the game?
They'll say what's up, but it ain't going to be all that fun.
I'm looking forward to that. All right, Dan, the Cowboys and Steelers is the game of the week. What's the opening statement?
Can the Cowboys offense be good enough? Because this is an offense that is so pass-centric. Almost 80% of their success offensively comes from the pass game, and it's really to one guy, CeeDee Lamb. This defensive line that they're going to play against in Pittsburgh is the best defensive line they've played this year. Good luck with your tackles trying to block that cyborg in TJ Watt.
All right, so there's a lot of really intriguing games this weekend, and we're going to dive into all of them. But a player that we do not expect to see on the field on Sunday is the star wide receiver Davante Adams, who continues to deal with a hamstring injury. It's the injury players always have when they're about to be traded. The Raiders have informed other teams they would consider trading Adams for a second-round draft pick and additional compensation. The two teams high on his wish list of places to land are the Jets and the Saints. There were a lot of opinions yesterday on where he should go. Here are a few of them from people you know.
Damn it, Christmas has come early. We got to smile about this one because you know where I'm going. It's the Dallas Cowboys. That's who the hell should get them. I mean, this is Christmas come early.
It is the best fit for him to go back with Aaron Rodgers in New York. I believe he will elevate the team to a whole nother level. They need a true number one, and it'll just boost the offense big time. They need Davante Adams over there.
Okay, so many different options here. Look, he's a difference-making player. But, Dan, I'll start with you because I'm going back. I think it was July. You were sitting in exactly that seat, and you told me exactly then what was going to happen.
He's going to be a Jet, and he has to be a Jet. The Jets, we know, have one of two things are going to happen. They're either going to win or everyone's going to get fired. They need him. The Jets, month into the season, are a good football team, not great. They can't win the Super Bowl without adding Davante Adams. Number one, they stand still on offense. They're as standstill offense as anybody in the NFL. When you play standstill offense, you two know this, you got to have guys that just win. It's got to be like my guy better than your guy. Number two, they stink versus man coverage right now. Davante Adams absolutely wears out man coverage. And then three, Garrett and Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers haven't taken off yet. And so this is a no-brainer, easy decision. Jets, if you're truly serious about going to win the Super Bowl and not coddling egos, you got to go get Davante Adams.
You know what I want to do before I get the insight from Kmart and before J-Mac gives us another team that we should consider? Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a lot of football fans remember Davante Adams in Green Bay when he was probably the best wide receiver in football. And then because he's been on a team that doesn't get nearly as much attention and hasn't been with great quarterbacks, they wonder, is he still that guy? I believe he's 31 years old. Is he still one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in the NFL? You're my receiver, yes or no?
100% he is. And you look at him being able to have the ability to beat man to coverage, win one-on-one like Dan just alluded to, but also command double teams. You can still throw it to him. He is a matchup nightmare. His route savviness, still one of the better route runners in the National Football League. It's a difference when you have a guy that can win one-on-one matchups, but then against zone, understand coverages and the feel of it. And then when you look at the chemistry between him and Aaron Rodgers, what they've been able to make over the years in Green Bay, Davante Adams is still a top dog when it comes to the wide receiver position in the league. And if people think otherwise, then they just don't watch tape.
That's the point. You were telling me watch particularly the tape against the Ravens, week 2 of this year. So that's an interesting one. So we've got one. If I asked you the question, which team is Davante Adams away for maybe winning the championship this year? We have one vote for the Jets. Where do I get another vote?
I absolutely love him with the Washington Commanders. And I look at that division first and foremost. The Cowboys, we haven't seen much from them. The Philadelphia Eagles look like they don't want to play for their head coach at this point. And the New York Giants are still figuring things out. So I look at the Commanders where you're going into the season, you're like, all right, we drafted a rookie high. We're trying to build for the future. And then Jaden Daniels gets out there and it's just like, my goodness, this kid is good. You put Davante Adams opposite of Terry McLaurin, and you guys are talking about winning one-on-one and matchup issues. What those two can do with Cliff Kingsbury, what he's already done in this offense, all you got to do is get to the dance when you start talking about the playoffs. If you're the Commanders, you have a chance to win that division and get there. And hell, let's see what a guy like Davante does to that offense.
Louis Riddick tweeted that the other day. As soon as these stories started coming out, he said, would love to see him in Washington. All right, Kmart.
Especially because they weren't in on Brandon Ayuk.
Okay, so now you're obviously canvassing the entire league. What are you hearing? What do people expect to happen?
Exactly what Dan said. Everybody expects him to be a Jet from the standpoint of that's where he likely want to go. And Aaron Rodgers, keep in mind, Aaron Rodgers was asked at a charity event or a golf event. Over the offseason, and he said, I can't wait to play with Davante again. This is, so when I say this, for him not to be a Jet, they have to answer a lot of questions because I know there are teams that are reaching out. A lot of teams could need him. I think the Steelers are a team that should go after him. They were in on Brandon Ayuk. You pair him with George Pickens. George Pickens, that is the ideal role model type of wide receiver who's a technician. He just doesn't rely on his athleticism and his skill set. He is a true technician in his craft. But when you look at the Steelers, that is a team where in that division, I know they have Lamar Jackson in Baltimore and Derrick Henry, but I think the Steelers are a team on the verge of making some noise, not just in the AFC North, but everybody.
Are you hearing that at all?
But that is my opinion. Everybody has expected him to be a Jet. So my point is, if he does not end up a Jet, Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh have to answer, why is the guy who's his best friend, who wanted to be with him from the beginning, not in this locker room now?
Why are you pointing at her?
You want to piss off the quarterback? Let him go somewhere else.
But that's what I'm saying. If I'm the Raiders, I know he wants to go there. I want to get a haul from Joe Douglas.
The Jets have no choice but to.
There's no price too high for him.
You want to see the quarterback angry in post-game press conferences? Let Davante go to Washington, have 8 for $140.
Whatever they ask for, you're giving it up.
If you want a second, you mean to think about it when the Rams acquired OBJ.
Yeah.
Think about it when Tampa Bay acquired AB or signed AB. It was very similar situations. They were standstill offenses, and they had quarterbacks that just wanted to know where's the matchup. If you're the Jets, because here's the question. Let me ask you guys this: can the Jets right now? Do we think they can beat Kansas City?
No.
Can they beat Baltimore?
No.
Do we think they could beat Houston?
No.
Not without Davante.
No.
Not without him.
You throw Buffalo in that conversation.
They can be division opponent. They can, yeah.
Right, but the big thing is the defenses that can play really tight man coverage. You can't beat them without Davante. This is easy. Second round pick, great, here.
Well, I also think it'd be, front office malpractice if you didn't go get Davante Adams.
Because you've done
what
everything.
they did in Green Bay together.
But you got all the other Green Bay people. You might it doesn't make sense to get Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb and Nathaniel Hackett here and Tim Boyle at one point and not get Davante Adams. It doesn't make any sense.
Just think about January. They make the playoffs and they got to play Kansas City and they lose 17-14 because they can't beat man.
So you
coverage.
get Davante, you make the playoffs, and you lose in a wild card. Are those guys all still fired?
Yeah. You got to go to the AFC title game. You do for the Jets. I mean, there are.
I just look at the Jets, and all right, the offseason hits. You have Garrett Wilson. You go out, you sign Mike Williams. You're adding these pieces, and you have this really good defense. And to your point, the season starts. It looks okay. Doesn't look great. Now you go get. It's just you're continuing to just go get. You fall short, and now you're right back to the drawing board.
At least you're like
with a 40-year quarterback.
But at least you say we did everything. We did everything.
And you gave up a second-round draft.
Once you go full-fledged, you gotta live it.
That's what you do when you sign a 40-year-old quarterback. Yeah, everything is on the table from the standpoint of we have to do it all. There is no, hey, let's take some time, let's build with a young guy. He is 40, he's about to be 41 in December.
And like the unfortunate or like the surprising element of this offense is that Aaron and Garrett haven't taken off.
Yeah. Right.
And I expected that to be an easy thing. Correct. Yeah. They can't win versus man coverage. And I think to Kimberly's point, if you look back, if you're Joe Douglas and you look back a year from now and say, hey, we went to the divisional round playoffs and we lost, but my goodness, I did everything I could.
You can live with that.
You don't want, like, Washington, I get, J-Mac, but if you're Washington, do you really
There's more
believe that
question
you
marks
can go
around
win
it.
right now?
Yeah.
The whole thing,
Yeah.
I don't think you feel that way.
Yeah, more of a luxury at this point.
Yeah.
You're building for the future.
Well, look, I mean, there's a lot of teams that are going to want him, and Stephen A. brought up the Cowboys, and we talked about that yesterday. We'll have plenty of time to talk more about the different possibilities that exist here, one way or another. Another question that we'll ask Kmart is just how quickly should we expect this to happen? The money will come down every week. Hold the thought. I'm going to take a quick break here, but we'll come back. We'll have that going.